Yo, what's up, people? This your boy F Block Future. This is Ambition since 1982, the podcast. What's going on, people? I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in as we bring up this issue about Libya participating in 2017, selling Africans as slaves. This has to be one of the most craziest issues to even be discussing tonight. Now, I'm not a historian. I seem to know some things, just like most people, right? I Google stuff. I go on Facebook, and I just happened to stumble across that inside Libya, African refugees are being sold as slaves. That has to be one of the craziest things to even have to talk about tonight, with the fact that this is the year 2017. So, from my understanding, Africans are going through Libya to try to get to Europe. Now, we all know that, inside of Africa, things ain't really like, shit been kind of messed up. And that's due to the fact of the West meddling in their business. Also China. Now let's really focus here, right? The Chinese are investing in a lot of money inside Libya. And you probably ask yourself, wow, what the fuck does Chinese people want to deal with Africans now? China's population is big. So everybody's paying attention to Africa because of space and resources. The United States always seem to be quiet on these kind of issues. I mean, probably like a year or two ago, the big thing was about Boko Haram stealing women and selling them into slavery. I'm trying to ask myself, if the United States is focused on bringing democracy all across the globe, how is it in 2017 this isn't a big issue? But yet, we still fighting wars in Iraq, still fighting wars in Afghanistan, and we got a president just talking super reckless every single day, live on television. See, the problem is, we as African-born, African-born Americans, is that we don't pay attention to issues that affect black people all across the globe. So while we sit here, even myself included, I get distracted, talking about rap battles and love and hip hop and all type of tomfoolery and fuckery. We got to also pay attention to shit that's real, because even inside the United States, women are being kidnapped and sold into slavery. And it ain't even so much about just the history of slavery. It's the fact of why are we not able to protect our own? Why are we spending trillions of dollars and billions of dollars during the Christmas holiday or any fucking holiday that pop up, but we don't gather our money and help our people all across the globe? And I'm not only talking about in Libya, I'm talking about Jamaica, I'm talking about Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. But here's another thing. Other quote-unquote Africans or Africans in diaspora don't see the correlation between their blackness and where they're from. Haitians are Africans. American blacks are Africans. Nigerians, Africans. Cubans, Africans. Or some sort of mix with Africa. So are we going to just sit back and just, post online for about a week and say, free the Africans or pray for Libya? I think it's imperative that we start to organize. And when I say organize, I mean, listen, you have to have some kind of plan. I mean, today, right now, and I speak with a lot of my friends, I tell them all the time, if the government decide to kick your door in right now and put handcuffs on you, they could make you a slave. How are you going to defend yourself? But if you organize and you have a plan and strategies, you'll be able to protect yourself from these kind of things. So as these Arabs, I don't know if they consider themselves Arabs. I guess Libya is some sort of fucking Arabs. How they sitting back and watching other probably Muslims. These Africans are probably Muslims. And there's other Muslims selling other Muslims into slavery. And that brings us right back into the history of slavery. So we know the history. We dealt with it. But it's time for the African Union and the United Nations to start, paying attention to black people all across the world. That's second. But first, Africans all across the world need to pay attention to each other. Now, I'm just somebody with an opinion. I'm just somebody that just, I got a voice, I got a thought, and I just decided to broadcast it. But I really want y'all to go under this post and let's have a discussion. One, what can we do? Two, how can we, start to share ideas to better this movement of black people mattering on a grand scale. Remember, we are a buying community of almost $14 trillion. We spend about $14 trillion on fuckery. That's a fact. I do it. Maybe you do it. A couple of people I know do it. But it's very important that we start doing our history and learning from the mistakes of the people before us. Because, this ain't no different than in the 1600s. I'm pretty sure if the Africans, the ancestors, if they could have organized better, they could have came and started a war to come free us in America back then. We got to start asking ourselves, why? Because this corruption, these countries that's more powerful than us, they play us against each other. And then at the end of the day, we end up with nothing and we end up being slaves. These women are probably getting kidnapped, raped. The baby girls probably getting kidnapped and raped. If you ever look at that movie, Beast of No Nation, that shit is going on right now. And I think sometimes we just really get so distracted and caught up in shit that don't matter. You know what I mean? So that's even like with the brother Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. He ain't just taking a knee for that. He taking a knee for this whole situation. You know what I mean? Period. Just black people not being organized enough to be able to push our agenda. You know what I mean? And that's my spill on it. So call your local representatives. Not even your local, your state representative, the national United States senators, and ask them, hey, what are y'all doing about this situation? You know what I mean? What are y'all doing? Y'all just gonna let these people just be tortured? But when those planes flew into the buildings in New York, immediately we flew and went to war in Iraq, and we all knew that had nothing to do with those buildings coming down. So it shows more light that America only attack countries when their interests are being threatened. So also in the news, I also seen that the president of Guinea is sending an envoy to Libya with a host of other African countries to look out and see what's really going on over there. You know what I mean? Even Cuba is on board from what I read. But do your research, man. Don't just be asleep. Don't just let this situation go by. Go check it out. Go, take a couple of minutes. Read up on it and start figuring out how can we help each other all across the world to start really building this unity and this united front as Africans and African born in the diaspora. Because this shit don't make no sense. There's no way that these people are being sold into slavery in 2017. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So that's just my spill. You know what I mean? I just jumped out there. Leave your comments below. Continue to support Ambitious since 1982 SC. We just bringing issues. We starting conversations amongst ourselves to do better for ourselves, man. Shout out to the ASAC organization. Shout out to Vaughn Dawn, Vaughn Will Designs. And shout out to everybody that's in the fight for freedom. You already know who it is. It's your boy, F Block Future. This is Ambitious Since 1982, the podcast, and I'm out.